Hello Void, I'm Agitated Crane, and today we are starting My Hero Academia, also known as Boku no Hero Academia. Um, my autism, however, demands that I try to explain what is going on the channel, even though no one cares, and if people discover this as a new video, they probably are not familiar with my channel anyway, so. But as I said, the autism wants its due. So my channel currently is focused on Let's Plays, but I want to expand the amount of things that I do on the channel, and it's more so that I want to experiment not really with what would be popular on YouTube, but more so what I would be enjoying doing with YouTube. And some of the ideas that I had were like book clubs or watching anime and stuff like that. Now I don't think I am beautiful enough to justify having like a reaction channel, and also I feel like um, I'm dead inside, so it's probably not going to be very interesting to watch my reactions. I'm usually when I watch something, I'm like dead faced and uh, yeah. So what I'm going to do instead is have sort of like a book club slash movie club um, for stuff that I watch, that I read, and try to discuss it on camera like this. And the reason for this is like I have several reasons actually. Is because first I still need to practice English, as you can hear. I want to practice improvised speaking, talking, and um, I feel like if I talk about stuff that I watch, that I read about, then it then I'm going to notice more stuff and maybe memorize it better, because I feel like, well, I don't feel like it. I know for sure. I had at some point in my life I had this period of time where I was watching uh, a shit ton of anime. I was reading a lot of manga, and I barely remember any of them, even like the ones that I enjoyed. And it's strange. It's kind of like there is this haze on my memory. But for example, when I was reading Lord of the Rings, I really the feeling that I got when I was reading it, it really stuck with me. And I think one of the reasons that it stayed with me is because I was reading it with a friend, and with my friend, the way it would work is that in the evening I would read like a couple of chapters, and then next day I would meet up with my friend and we would discuss, because it would be his book that he um, borrowed to me, lent me maybe, is not, I borrowed from him. And so he read it already, and so he would ask me like where I was in the book, and we would kind of start talking about it, and he would start teasing some stuff, and I would start to speculate, and we would speculate as well, because I think he wasn't finished with the series either. So I feel like that was more fun than just watching stuff alone, or reading stuff alone indeed. And so I want to go back to that feeling where I do something that I enjoy, and then I talk about something that I enjoy. And I feel like diversifying stuff on my channel is going to help a little bit as well, because the games that I play is probably not something that would be popular. And I mean, if I'm being honest, this format that I'm going with for um, for anime and manga is probably not going to work either for people. I'm sure a lot of you are already tuned out, but yeah, I want to experiment. I want to do something that I enjoy, and I actually wanted to start with a different anime and a different manga. I'm not gonna be revealing which one yet, but I decided to go with My Hero Academia instead because the anime that I had in mind, I actually watched the first season, and I feel like it's going to be difficult for me uh, to do it justice, if that makes sense. Because I those first episodes, or I mean, not even first episodes. It's probably going to take a while until I find like pace that works for me, the format that works for me, and stuff like that. So I feel like until I have format most of all figured out, I feel like I shouldn't touch that anime that I really want to talk about. So instead, I wanted to start with something different, something that I'm not familiar with, uh, to have like a fresh reaction. So My Hero Academia, that came to mind. It's one of the. I'm not sure how big this shonen is actually, because I I don't think I heard about it as much as I heard about other like mainstream shonens, but I'm pretty sure it was popular at some point, and it covers superheroes. So I'm guessing the fact that Marvel was popular for a very long time, it probably gave like a boost to those superhero animes like My Hero Academia and probably One Punch Man as well. Right. So, um, the format for this, I am going to warn you right away. This is not going to be a live reaction because, as I mentioned, I don't think it would be entertaining to watch me specifically. I think it would be more interesting to just talk about it after I watch stuff or read stuff. Um, I am hesitant to call this review because I am not a like professional reviewer, and I actually tried to write a script for this video, and it felt uh, it felt really fake, you know. And I realized that if I try to read the text, it's going to sound awful because apparently um, I cannot read and enunciate things and stuff like that, and so it sounds even more boring than my regular explanation voice. So I decided to trash the script, and instead I'm having like a couple of points that I want to talk about, and maybe uh, we will follow them, maybe not. It's probably going to be a lot of improvisation, same as with my let's plays. So uh, my scattered mind is going to jump from one topic to another, have fun. Um, we will be, or I, the way I want to do this is I want to both watch anime and read manga at the same time. And the reason for this is because I, when I was younger and I was big into anime and manga, I actually started with anime. Okay, so let's just detour. Why not? I actually started with anime when I was little, and I enjoyed it uh, to a point until a lot of the series that I was watching at the time, they came into this screeching halt, and they either started to show like a bunch of fillers or the anime just ended. And that was really upsetting to me because I was like really invested what's going to happen next, right? Um, so I switched to manga. And for a long time, I actually stopped watching anime altogether, but I was just reading manga. And after a while, I I don't want to say I grew out of it, but I guess at some point I didn't. I had difficulties finding something to read that would interest me, so I stopped. I switched for a little bit to Western comics. I read a little bit of Spider-Man, and then I gave up on that as well. Because, as you grow up, you get uh, responsibilities, you have to work and stuff like that, and suddenly you find that you have less time to do stuff that you enjoy, or maybe you don't even have energy to do that type of stuff. And also with manga and anime, as I said, like fillers were a huge deal for me in anime that I really did not like that. And in manga, there was another issue. So I was at the time I was reading Bleach, I think, and when I was reading Bleach, it was actually um, I don't remember. Well, it was the Arrancar invasion arc, I think, and sometimes a chapter would come out, and there would be like entire pages of just slashes or something like that. Like just graphical representation of an attack for an entire page and no story, basically, right? And so sometimes it felt like nothing really happened in that chapter. Like you would get like you would get a page of an attack. Let's say some Ichigo goes Getsuga Tensho, right? And the slash goes uh, is portrayed for on the entire page. And then you get another page that is like full white because it's supposedly like the aftermath of that attack. And then the next page is for full black and like maybe like a couple of words like am I dead? What is this? Stuff like that, and it felt like uh, it didn't really feel like filler, but it felt like you cannot really you are not really progressing with the story reading just one page, not page, just one chapter. So I decided to wait for like 10 chapters or stuff like that until there is more to read. And sadly at some point I just forgot to check on it back, right? Um so anyway, yeah. uh why I'm talking about this, the way I'm gonna be approaching My Hero Academia is that I'm going to watch the episode and then I will also read the corresponding manga chapter. This is because there are usually differences between manga and anime, and I want to see them. I want to see what was added, I want to see what was changed, what was censored. Because with Bleach, for example, right, that's the one that I mentioned already. The initial Bleach was censored a lot, and it was censored like the, I don't want to say violence because it almost feels like it's part of the course in manga, where you have like this those attacks that remove half of the body or whatever. So it's yeah. So some of the stuff was censored, and later fan service was uh, censored as well. I think in the Thousand Year Blood War, or at least, well, I haven't read those manga, but I have heard from other people who read the manga that the violence is now not censored, but the fan service and some like spicier scenes are a little bit censored. So there you go. So I want to take a look at both of them. Oh my god, hold on. My cats were absolutely chill before I started recording. And now that I'm like, what, 16 minutes into the recording, they decided that they want to start a fight and kill each other. Anyway, right. So, My Hero Academia. Reading manga, watching anime. Um, Before I started the anime, I didn't really know anything about it, aside from the obvious thing, right? There is going to be school, it's probably going to be superhero school. That's it. At the time it was released, I think there was in the circles of YouTube that I was watching, there was talk about this uh, parody series where Trump was the main hero or whatever. It was weird, and at the time, well, before I started watching the anime, I was trying to remember what I actually know about it, and when I remembered this thing about Trump, I kind of like thought the thing that I was remembering was that someone said that the character is based on Trump or something like that, and I was like, wait, what? Really? Japanese manga, and they are bringing Trump in there? But no, there is actually like a separate comic book that is like a parody of My Hero Academia that has Trump as main character. So there you go. Um, so yeah, that's about it. What else? Manga was written by Kohei Horikoshi. Is that his name? Yes, Kohei Horikoshi. So there you go. I am not familiar with this mangaka. I actually googled him as well to see if he wrote anything that I'm familiar with. Looks like no. Uh, it almost it almost looks like this is his breakthrough series. So there you go. And actually, in manga, he has like this um, prologue. Well, not prologue, opening words, right? And I actually quite liked this. So he writes here, right? And I'm gonna read this. This is my third series to be collected into graphic novels. So it's not the first, but from what I've looked I looked at, I think like this is his like breakthrough. Like his previous stuff was some smaller projects. And he continues, forgive me if this sounds reckless, but the thing I prioritize most when drawing manga is creating something that I can enjoy. This one might not remain popular, but for now, I will just be happy if everyone finds it as fun as I do. And I really love this. I really love this approach, and I really try to have the same approach to my YouTube channel because I know that I'm not the type of person that is going to chase like the stuff that is popular. I know that I I'm not like I don't want to be a clown. I'm not like a professional reviewer or anything like that. I just want to do something that I enjoy and be happy doing it. So this those opening words, they really resonated with me. Right. So let's jump, I guess, into the anime. And in anime, we start with this scene. Right. So this is our main character. His name is Izuku Midoriya, and his nickname. I'm not sure if it's like a nickname, but some characters. His bully calls him Deku, and I'm not sure if this is like a nickname or if it's like mocking nickname. So for a moment I'm gonna stick with Izuku and see how it goes. So this is the screen from the anime, and then here we have the screen from manga, which is it's a little bit different in eh, in what Izuku says. So in manga he says that look, you already made him cry, so stop it. And then in anime he says if you continue, I won't forgive you, stuff like that. In general, it's mostly the same. I really like this opening. It um, it has um, it has Captain America feel to it, uh, and by that I mean like stuff like I can do this all day, or when he jumped on the grenade, right? Because here it's quite obvious that he is like also one of the weaker kids, yet he is standing up to the bullies because he is trying to protect someone who is it even someone who is weaker? Like I don't feel like it's someone who is weaker. It's just he's trying to protect some other guy that is having a harder time. So yeah, fun stuff, fun stuff. There is also narration, and Izuku says that people are not born equal, and he says that it's the hard truth I learned at the age of 4. And here I have a small issue with the translation, and I'm actually not sure where the translation error is. It's not even like a huge error, right? But it's just that in anime he says that uh, I was watching in the original translation in Japanese, and he when he says about that's the hard truth that I learned at the age of 4, he says genjutsu, right? And if you are a Naruto fan and you watched Naruto, you may be familiar with this word, and I'm not going to pretend that I know what it means. I'm not even going to Google this because I'm a professional. But basically, my understanding is that genjutsu is an illusion, or it can be translated roughly as an illusion. And so, if uh, if we were to translate it more accurately, I guess it would be like I've seen through this illusion that people are created equal. And again, like this is hard because I don't know Japanese, and my manga is translated, so I'm not sure if uh, the manga translation is incorrect or if it was the change in the anime. I'm not sure, but the issue I have is that again, like a little bit of autism. I feel like those things are different. Like it's one thing to learn the truth and another to see through deception, right? Or through the illusion, to finally understand something. If you are not like nitpicking, then you can say that the meaning remains more or less the same. But I feel like it's slightly different shade that that I would say makes difference. But whatever, whatever. Um, bam, bam, bam. Right, and as I said, very Captain America moment. I'm not saying that this is. Um, I'm not saying that he reminds me of Captain America. It's more so that those scenes in Captain America kind of stood out to me in the sense that, and I'm talking about Captain America movie. I actually haven't read the comic books, but in the movie, it kind of stood out to me that this is what makes the guy a hero. It's not his superpowers. It's not. Um, it's what he does, right? So yeah. Okay. It's funny. Like as I said, like I'm having difficulties even with the points that I'm with like bullet points that I made. It's difficult for me to follow some kind of structure. Anyway, yeah, he gets beat up. He mentions the name of the bully, and the bully we will actually see him later again. So it seems to be a recurring character. Anyway, that flashback is over, and we continue to the main story. We are in Tatooine Station, and apparently there is a disturbance happening on the street where a supervillain is doing what supervillain people do, I guess. It seems that Izuku is on the way to school, and so but he stops and because he has this fascination with superheroes, and I guess we will talk a little bit about this later, but already it seems a little bit strange to have this fascination with superheroes because it seems like they are so widespread that at this point it would feel more like a nuisance, right? Oh my god, again those guys are fighting or something, and we can't get it to work. But anyway, yeah. So he stops. He talks with people who is fighting, what's going on, and people are saying, "Oh, this guy he stole some purse, and then when he got cornered, he transformed into this kaiju monster. He basically got bigger. So yeah, stuff is happening, and then we get like a glimpse at at well, actually no, I'm not sure if I should be talking about it, but basically we get an opening. Opening. I was happy with the opening sequence because it didn't really spoil anything aside from like maybe characters that we are going to meet later. The song is by Pornography. Um, the name of the song is The Day. I'm not sure why I'm talking about it. Uh, I guess just it was strange seeing Pornography because I'm actually I've heard about them before. I believe they did like an opening or ending for Great. Sorry, I had a coughing fit. I tried to mute, but I'm recording in a new way, and I'm not sure if that worked. Anyway, yeah. So they recorded opening or ending for Great Teacher Onizuka, and it's one of those anime that I watched when I was younger. I barely remember it, but I remember the song a little bit, and well, remember when I found it again, I recognized the tune. Let's put it that way. And it's kind of funny that this anime is about school and that anime was about school, and I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. After that, we get like a little bit of exposition. So we get explanation that uh, the superheroes, so they have superpowers. Oh my god, I'm so. This is premium review. This. So superpowers in this world are called quirks, and the first quirk appeared in China. Suspicious, and it was Bebe was glowing in the dark, so that was its quirk, I guess. There was no explanation how this happened, why it happened. It seems to be a mystery what's going on with those quirks, but that was like some time ago. And after that, more and more superpowers started to appear in the world, and the world changed, right? Because uh, evil people suddenly received some powers and they started causing havoc. The government started to have some issues, and as with the bureaucracy, it takes some time to get everything in order. So superheroes started popping up to kind of pick up the slack where government was unable to help, right? And after a while, it developed into this system where superheroes kind of work for the government, I guess, and um, the better they do, the more they are paid, the more famous there are. Fun stuff. I'm sure it's going to work out great. Um, I did get this. Do I have it here? That's the opening, right? And in the opening, you kind of see, um, you can see this guy. This is like the main. Well, he's not the main guy, but he's like the Superman of this universe, right? Then you have this. This is Izuku, our main character, and then behind him here is his bully, who we will meet later a little bit. So we see some characters here, like a bunch of characters, crazy amount of characters. Um, so yeah, but we are not really getting spoilers about any fights or anything like that. We just, I guess, we know that the bully is going to be part of the team. So yeah, but what I was trying to show was actually this. So this panel is from a manga and it doesn't appear in anime, but it is kind of nice tribute. If you can see here, this guy looks like a Superman. This guy is like a silhouette of Spider-Man. This is probably like a Moon Knight. I think this is close, so this should be Wolverine. And then this guy at the top, and those two guys at the bottom. I'm not sure who they are. They kind of look like maybe like Ultraman and stuff like that. Like maybe some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that I'm not familiar with. Maybe, but yeah, I can't place them reliably, so I'm not sure. But it's a nice panel that I really appreciated that he kind of said that. Well, it was kind of teased that those guys kind of exist as well, right? Another coffin fit. And so Izuku continues. He says that now it's about 80% of the world population that has superpowers, and that seems crazy to me because it's kind of like, I guess let's stay on this picture for now. It's it seems strange to me because if everyone is special, then no one is, right? It's kind of that feeling that I have. He does say that quirks are different, like some quirks are more powerful than the others, or I guess it is said a little bit later. But still, it's kind of strange that everyone has, well, almost everyone has like this sort of powers. And actually, if you think about what he was saying about the government and that there is now like those government sanctioned superheroes, it's it's a little bit strange because it if at this point everyone has superpowers, then surely is there even a point of superheroes? Wouldn't you have like this world where police force has superpowers and then firefighters have superpowers, but it's not superheroes. It's just like the society works as it used to. It just now has superpowers, and here you can actually see like this guy, right? He has like this gear that is kind of reminiscent of construction stuff, and actually when in anime, I think some like steel beam falls and he catches it or some stuff like that. So wouldn't this guy basically be like a construction worker? And then you have like another person which is He's not visible here in the manga. I think he appears in the anime, but I don't have a screenshot of him. So let's. I'm just gonna talk about it. But he basically looks like a firefighter, and he has like water powers. And it's kind of strange that he would be. Why wouldn't he then be like a firefighter? Why wouldn't there be like specialized superheroes, or even not like superheroes? How should I compare it? To what? I guess I should compare it. Let's say, well, it's basically just like a skill at this point, right? It's not something that one in a million person has it, right? And he's special because of that, and he is changing the world. No, if you have water powers, why wouldn't you join firefighters and specialize in putting out the fires? It just seems that that would be natural evolution of superpowers springing up in the world. And I think I had some other stuff that I wanted to mention here. Well, no, I guess it's just the fact that it didn't really made sense to me why superheroes exist. Because if you have like in the beginning when he says that the government didn't really have a way to deal with supervillains, so then superheroes showed up. That makes sense, right? But then as there are more and more of them and the government begins to organize a little bit better, it seems strange that they would give power or title to superheroes instead of integrating them into the branches of the government that already work, that already exist. So if you have some strong guy or guy that can manipulate earth, put him into construction. If you have a guy that is uh, producing water, put him into firefighters. If you have a guy that is fighting criminals, put him into police force, right? Just that seems like organic solution to that. And as I was talking about it, I forgot about something that I wanted to mention again. Oh, this is horrible. This is seriously horrible. And that's actually something. I think uh, it's either, well, no, both Marvel and DC, they actually struggle with this a little bit because they have a world with increasingly more and more superhumans, right? And so they occasionally have these stories. So, like, you have the stories of what happens when people destroy like a street. Well, when superheroes destroy a street, who comes up and cleans that stuff? What happens when superheroes arrest people? What happens when if they interrogate them? Because if you if you interrogate someone and get like confession because you were basically torturing them, that's not admissible in court. I think if it's properly, then if you are Batman and you caught someone trying to steal stuff, then you can't testify against him. So that creates like a bunch of other issues. So there are like legal issues and the world building issues that Marvel and DC are trying to sometimes address. And here maybe they will get into it later, but so far it feels like um, you wanted to have a lot of superheroes, but you didn't really realize that the world would change. Like it wouldn't work as this because the way the world is currently portrayed in this manga is the early stages of superheroes, right? Where yeah, we have like maybe Superman, Flash, they suddenly show up and they just help people, right? But when you have at this point like this Builderman and Water Hose Man, at that point you need more world building. I feel like. Anyway, yeah. So this girl shows up. There is actually so this guy on the background is like what was his name? Kamui Woods. So far, names in this manga are unimpressive to me, but I mean they are not bad. It's just that it's not Spider Man, it's not Batman, which are very original names, I guess. But yeah, this guy in the background is Kamui Woods, and he shows up on the scene, and um, he tries to apprehend the villain. But then he gets interrupted by this girl who is called Mount Lady. She has size alteration powers, seems like. So she grew to the giant size and she kicked him, kicked the villain into the face. And it's actually interesting because both in manga and in anime, there is like this crowd of photographers who show up and start taking pictures. And I couldn't figure out if they are taking pictures because she's like a new superhero that is being debuted, or because there is just a giant ass in the sky. Like I'm not sure. And the the funny thing also, it's in manga, the photographers are saying it's her, it's her, it's her, right? And then in anime they are saying it's here, it's here, it's here. So it's strange. It kind of like it, and then in anime it also like she's making those puns. So when she talks to the people, she says, "A pleasure to make your askitans." So it's kind of like oh, this is difficult word for me to pronounce even as it is. Acquaintance, and she says acquaintance. It's kind of like a pun on us. And I feel like the anime kind of tried to, I don't want to say to sexualize her, but kind of like make it a little bit more spicier, I guess. And another thing that is kind of strange, and the reason why I chose this picture is that she looks really creepy here. And this is not the only time that some characters are portrayed as creepy. And I'm not sure if this is intentional, if this is like just the way they were drawn, or if it is really implication that they are a little bit shady. Because like she has this weird smile, it kind of looks like dishonest, right? And then All Might, who is like this Superman equivalent in this world, he sometimes the way he's portrayed, he's not his eyes are not visible, which usually it also indicates that this is kind of like shady character, right? Because you cannot see his eyes. So I wonder if they will, if this is going to maybe go into this the boys route a little bit, where superheroes are those celebrities, but really they are not that good. It's probably not going to go as depraved as the boys because this is shonen manga. But I wonder if there is going to be this angle that don't meet your heroes because they are not heroes. They are doing this for fame and stuff like that. So could be something interesting. Anyway, so Izuku continues to school, and at school he is in a third year. And I actually googled how the Japanese school system works, and I forgot it. But basically, he's kind of like finishing one school stage, and he's supposed to start like a. I think he's finishing like a middle school, and so he will start a high school soon. But um, so the teacher at school says, "Oh, it's like the third year for you guys, and it's obviously um a way to think where you are going to go from now on. But I expect that you guys are going to go to, well, that all of you guys are want to be superheroes." And to which the classroom erupts, and we get this scene. And this scene is basically identical to the one that we have in the manga. I'm not going to show stuff for comparison, but I just want to say, like, this. So at this stage, like here, you can see Izuku with his green hair, right? And here you can see his rival slash bully. But Izuku with his green hair, as you can see, he doesn't show any superpowers, and we actually learn here that Izuku is what's in this world is called quirkless, which means that he has no superpowers. And it's um, it's explained a little bit later in the flashback. I just wanted to mention it here because, like, here you can see superpowers in quotation marks of other characters, and I guess, well, for me, they are not that impressive, right? A lot of them. Like, so some of them, okay, maybe, but I guess it makes sense that the mangaka decided to call them not superpowers but quirks because it's kind of like a little bit of weird stuff that they do that are not necessarily superpowers. because like this guy, right? He has can I see it? Yeah. So this guy, for example, he has rubber eyes. This guy has fist with thorns. This guy has inflatable chin. This guy has long fingers, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, uh, how is this useful for superheroing? Like like obviously we don't know what they are capable of, but it seems like some of those superpowers, or I guess quirks, eh, at that point, like I if I were to choose between rubber eyes and not having superpowers at all, I feel like I would choose not having superpowers because I feel like if I had rubber eyes, at one point or another, I would experiment too much and maybe lose one of them. So yeah, like this guy here in the background, like, is he like just Pinocchio? What's going on here? Just like the extra large nose. That's it. So anyway, yeah. So the teacher says that you guys are probably want to be superheroes, and then we finally meet Katsuki Bakugo. So this is the bully guy, and I feel like I did a really shitty job with picking the screenshots. I obviously didn't want to play the scenes due to copyright and stuff like that, and I didn't want to show too much of the manga as well due to copyright. So I was kind of like um, sparingly taking screenshots of stuff that I found interesting. And I'm realizing now that I don't think we really have like a good shot of Izuku or Katsuki at all. So anyway, so that's when he starts to speak, and he is an asshole. He's an asshole, and so he says that his superpower or his quirk is significantly better than everyone else's, which I okay. Like this guy has a fart hand, right? This girl has water hair or whatever. I we are getting we are getting to the point in the X-Men comics where superpowers are so shit. I'm not sure how to describe it, but basically in Marvel comics you have this golden, well, what I consider to be golden age, where uh, the original mutants were introduced, where Avengers were introduced, and you had like everyone had like a unique superpowers and stuff like that. A little bit later, we had like slightly lesser age, where we had like sidekicks and stuff like that, and we get like uh, variations of superpowers or characters with similar superpowers. So we got like Supergirl for Superman. We got Spider Woman. Well, I guess Spider Woman was around for a longer time, but we basically get like War Machine for Iron Man and stuff like that. You know, the variety of superheroes. And then we get like a shit age, which is like a modern age, where when the new character is introduced, where the new superhero is introduced, they have shit costume, they have shit powers, they have shit personality, they have no character at all, and then they are put in like really stupid story where they are, for whatever reason, they are better than established characters because they have a unique outlook on the world or whatever. So I kind of agree with Katsuki here that those superpowers are shit. and that his superpower is better. Uh, his superpower, it's not explained exactly, but it seems to be fire based. So I'm thinking like he's maybe like a pyro from X-Men. But then also looking at his costume hero, right? He has like those grenades on hands. So I'm thinking maybe he's going to be like he can do those sparks, but then he would get like a device that when he does the spark, then it can have like a bigger blast thanks to the tech on his hands. Maybe I'm not sure. This is him, by the way. So yeah, so he starts bragging basically that his superpower is better than everyone else's, and that he has plans to apply for UA High School. I'm not sure what UA stands for. United America, maybe. And everyone in the class starts gossiping, like, "Oh my God, that's a national school, international, I guess." Uh, that it's very hard to get there. It's basically like big league superheroes go there and stuff like that. So that's like a huge deal. And then their teacher has like this moment of like, I'm not sure what I would even call it, like of this like prescience. Is it prescience that I'm looking for? Hold on. He basically has this enlightenment, and he decides to say that Izuku wants to go to that school as well, wants to apply to that school as well. And everyone just starts laughing because Izuku, as I mentioned already, he's quirkless, right? Which means that he has no superpowers. And Katsuki starts to bully him, saying like, "How dare you go to trying to apply to the same school as me? You are trying to undermine my like high status. I want to be the only guy from here to apply there, and the only one guy to be accepted. And what are you even going to be applying for if you don't have superpowers?" To which Izuku says that there is no like precedent that the applicants actually have to have superpowers. It's just that it never happened, but it's not actually a requirement to have superpowers to apply, because the test is, I guess, the written test. I'm not sure. So well, because Katsuki says that he already tried the test and he scored really high, um, so he's very confident that he will get there. So yeah, he starts bullying our friend Izuku, and we get we then switch to, meanwhile, somewhere else. We get a villain. Our villain, and I'm gonna try something interesting here because in pictures I have it somewhere else. I wonder if this will work. No, it will not work. Okay, doesn't matter. So we won't move there. But basically, we are shown that in the town there is a villain that is stealing some shit, and so that's like our cutaway. And we see a guy exiting a store. It's like this very skinny guy, and when he sees the villain and people talking about, the villain must realize that there is no superhero around, so he's running amok. And the guy says, "Do not worry. Why, you ask? because I am here. And you can see from the silhouette and stuff that he's really buff now, and it's obviously our friend All Might, the almightiest superhero on this planet. So yeah, that is the cutaway. Then we get a little bit more bullying from Katsuki. By the way, Izuku calls Katsuki Kachan, which is again like the nicknames. Kachan. It's if you look at him here, right? Uh, if you look at him here, he has like this grenade on his hand, right? And it kind of makes sense that Kachan. It kind of sounds like a noise that a grenade would make when you remove the safety pin, right? But currently he doesn't have this costume, and it seems strange to me that he would have this nickname because so his name is Katsuki, right? So Ka comes from Katsuki, and then Chan, isn't Chan used with girls? If it's guy, then it should be Kon. Is it a girl? No, he has guy's proportions, right? So this is something strange to me because if let's say it was like a play on words and it was his nickname based on his superhero persona, then it would make sense. But if it's like abbreviation of name and Chan, then it doesn't really make sense. So anyway, he starts bullying Izuku some more. Izuku has like a diary where he writes stuff about superheroes, and the book cover says that it's hero analysis for my future. So basically, he's like he's doing some research for his future as a superhero because he wants to be superhero as well. And so Kachan or Katsuki, he takes this notebook, he burns it, he throws it away. Um, and then there is this interesting exchange where so usually with rivals in anime or in manga, in anime, whatever, uh, they begin the series and they are portrayed as an asshole and stuff like that, and then as the series continue, you learn about their backstory, you learn more about their character and stuff like that, and it goes, and then you begin to like them. They begin to have some depth and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure we will eventually like Katsuki, that he's not going to be asshole for the entirety of the series, that we will eventually learn that he's actually a nice guy and he was trying to protect Deku same way as Itachi protected Sasuke by killing trillions of people over and over. So he was actually a good guy, right? But then Katsuki here says, if you want to be a hero, go go jump off the roof and be reincarnated into someone who has superpowers. To which Izuku actually has like like a reaction, but then he gets intimidated into keeping quiet. Katsuki leaves, and Izuku goes to retrieve his notebook, and we get um, this inner monologue from here that if I really jumped, you would be charged with bullying me into suicide. Think before you speak. And this is curious because uh, that's I'm reading from the manga, by the way. I think in anime it's actually something else. No, it's more or less the same. Never mind. But the meaning behind that, right? It's kind of strange that well, not strange. What I like about it, I guess, is that Izuku reacts to that specifically, and it's kind of like, see, this is where preparation would have been actually good, but and I had this idea, this thread, and I feel like I lost it, like the explanation how I view Izuku, because his approach to heroism is not just like the physical level, I guess, but also like emotional, maybe, because you with the kid in the beginning, he was saying you made him cry, so stop it, right? It wasn't like you hurt him. It was focused a lot on the fact that the guy is crying, which he could be crying because of the pain, but it almost feels like the emotional help, I guess, right, plays a bigger role for Izuku. Like it's less about it's less about protecting from physical harm, but also from mental harm. Um, I'm not sure if that makes sense or not, but it just those two examples. It felt like very deliberate that there is focus to that the heroism is not just about physical stuff. It's about supporting others as well, and that's why his reaction about suicide is so strong, because this is not what heroes should be doing, right? So yeah. Um, and so he goes back home, and he remembers stuff from back when he was little, and this was actually like very cute. So we get this scene, and in anime it was portrayed very similarly. He basically ran towards his mother. He would say like, "Mom, please turn on the computer. I want to watch some videos." And then he sits in the chair and he's just spazzing up, like look at this image, right? You can see that he's going crazy basically. Hurry up, turn it on. And it was basically he was fascinated by an old clip uh, on YouTube, I guess. It is actually a YouTube, I think. Yeah, it's called YouTube. It just has like a slightly different spelling. As and on that video, we see the first appearance, I guess, All Might, the this main hero that we see on the cover, who is basically like a Superman in this world, I guess, and he's the most famous, the mightiest of them all, I guess. And he watches the video and he says, "That's an incredible video. This guy saves a lot of people," and he's smiling. But again, as I said, we don't clearly see his face, which again in visual media, I would say that this is implication that there is not everything as it seems with the character, but we will see. We then get another we then get another flashback from doctor's office where the doctor says that um, Izuku is not going to have superpowers. And here is another interesting level, I would say. Well, not really level, but um, there is more world building added because he says that his mom, the doctor says that Izuku's mom is fourth generation, I think, right? Yeah. She's fourth generation, which means that it's already like the guy from China that was glowing, that was like the first generation, I guess, or maybe it's not. It wasn't even like the first generation. It was like generation zero, and then they started to show up, and then later, more and more people started to appear. So we have fourth generation heroes. So kind of as I was mentioning with Marvel and DC, that the golden age was basically like the first generation where the heroes just started to appear, and then they were like a second generation where you had Supergirl and stuff like that. And now we are at the stage where they are basically everywhere and no one is special. But yeah, so she is fourth generation, and her power is to manipulate small objects, which is like um, really is like small power. And she says that her husband can breathe fire. Again, interesting. We do not see the husband, or um, I guess Izuku's father. Uh, Probably going to be some revelation later, just like with other manga dads and anime dads. So maybe he's someone important who will show up later. But yeah, the doctor then says that usually uh, when the quirk manifests, it's either um, the same quirk as or variation of the quirk from one of the parent, or like the combination of the two, like the new quirk that kind of like the merge of the two. Um, but Izuku doesn't seem to have one, and he even says like another interesting thing. Like he shows an X-ray of Izuku's food, and he says there is that people who have superpowers or quirks, I guess, they don't have. Um, they are missing one of the joints on the pinky toe. I don't understand this. Whatever, but he says Izuku has both joints, which means that he's basically like previous evolution of the human, and he's not going to have superpowers. So he will have no quirks at all. So this is like scientifically proven that if you are Homo superior, if we are to quote X-Men basically, then you are missing one of the joints on the pinky toe and you have some sort of superpower. But if you have the joint there, then you don't have superpower, and you are a regular human. I'm not sure how evolution works. If uh, if two evolved humans have a child, then shouldn't it continue that evolution, and shouldn't wouldn't wouldn't it be strange if they moved backwards? Who knows? Who knows? But and it's also strange that it's kind of like, yeah, you guy, you are Homo erectus, you are not going to have superpowers. Fuck off. Strange, strange. I'm gonna talk about superpowers and stuff a little bit later as well, but so let's focus on this. And then back home, we get this scene where Izuku rewatches the video on YouTube. Here you can actually see that it's YouTube, and you can also see the computer, the Windows interface. Uh, it's kind of cute. It's actually the same as it is in. Is it? I think I saw it in the manga as well. Yeah, manga doesn't have it. Okay, never mind. I thought it had the same stuff. Um, which is like, I'm not even sure why I'm talking about it. That doesn't matter. But yeah, he's rewatching the video on YouTube where All Might saves the people, and he begins to cry, and he asks mom if he can be a hero as well. To which his mom begins to cry and say that she is sorry and stuff like that. And Izuku remembers it currently as he goes back home, because he's and he says like, no mom, that back then what I wanted you to say was, and he doesn't continue, but it's kind of, to me it kind of says that he wanted her to give him like this support, to say like, you don't need superpowers to be a hero, which is true. Like, you don't need superpowers to be a hero. There are a lot of people in real world who I would consider heroes because they did something heroic, who do not have superpowers. To Like, some don't even have training, right? So it's but her reaction, I guess, because she was really upset that he doesn't have any quirk, and that the life is probably going to be difficult for him, and so she was sorry for that. But yeah, he was looking for the support, basically. But he said like, I decided not to care what anyone says, to keep my chin up and keep moving forward. And so he and it's basically the same as, I guess he's getting inspired by All Might, because All Might is like smiling as he saves heroes. He's this optimistic guy, right? So as Izuku continues, he gets ambushed by the supervillain that was stealing stuff previously, that All Might was chasing. And this supervillain attacks him, and um, he wants to hide himself in Izuku, because he's basically, as you can see, he's kind of like this liquid character. So he's trying to get into Izuku to hide himself from All Might. But never fear, for All Might is here, He appears, he uses Texas Smash, and he obliterates the villain. Izuku faints, but then gets revived by All Might, and All Might explains that he captured the supervillain. He contained him in one of the Coca-Cola bottles or whatever. Um, and Izuku, he's starstruck, right? Because this is his childhood hero, and this is someone he's looking up to, and so he begins to say like I have so many things to ask you, like I need to talk with you, but the guy says, look, I um he's actually says something interesting. A pro battles not only enemies but also time, which is interesting concept that I think Superman sometimes handles. Like he can hear all the wrong um, going in the world, but he doesn't have enough time to help everyone, so he prioritizes important stuff and stuff like that. Um, so I guess this is a reference to that as well, that uh, he doesn't really have that much time. He has to run around, help people and stuff like that. Well, actually, I think it's implying something else that we will see a little bit later, but I think it's also like a reference to that heroes have to be careful with superheroes specifically have to be careful with the time, because if they are wasting time somewhere, then somewhere else are like people dying and stuff like that. So he jumps away. I'm guessing he cannot fly. He just jumps away. But then he realizes that Izuku is stuck to his leg. Like he hugged him because he really wants to talk with him. So he rushed him and he clothed himself to him, and uh, All Might is carrying Izuku over the town. Uh, so he says, "Okay, okay, I will talk with you. Just give me a second." But it shows that All Might actually has like a blood coming from his mouth, so it looks like his transformation, because we did see that in reality he's like this skinny guy, right? So his transformation seems to be time limited. So I guess that's what he was meant about battling time as well. I think in DC there is this. There is probably a lot of characters that have time limit on their abilities, but the one that comes to mind specifically is Our Man in DC Comics, that gains like superpower and stuff like that, super strength, uh, for an hour each day. So he has like a specific serum that he drinks, and then does he drink it? I think it's in like his hourglass, so he doesn't drink it. It's weird. It's comic books, right? But he basically gets that superpower for an hour a day. So I'm thinking maybe with All Might it's kind of similar. Like he can't stay in this form forever. But which but that's actually interesting, because what does it mean? Does this mean that All Might is that he doesn't have a quirk, that his superpower is achieved through science, through some elixir or something like that, or is his power, or is his quirk malfunctioning, or whatever is going on here? So that's curious. Anyway, in the comic book or in the manga, We actually switch back to uh, Katsuki. Yeah, we switch back to Katsuki and we see that he gets attacked by the supervillain. By the same supervillain that All Might apprehended, by the way, which means that he did not apprehend him. Or maybe there are two of them, who knows? I haven't actually read this page yet because uh, in the anime, we don't get that scene. Instead, we get a scene where All Might lands on a roof, and he actually wants to leave already, but Izuku manages to uh, blur bl- blur out blur. No, he basically manages to pose the question like, can I be a hero without superpowers, even without a quirk? Can I still be a hero? And we don't get an answer in the first episode. This is the scene that we end on, that I'm showing currently. Again, notice that All Might's features are in shadow. I'm kind of getting suspicious about if he is really that good or not. Maybe it's like a stylistic choice that you don't see his face. Maybe it's kind of like a variation on Superman where you idealize him to the extent that you can't you don't see his face, like you see this silhouette instead. But to me it kind of feels, and again this is like experience from other manga, other anime, that there is the character is being shady if his face is not visible. And yeah, that's where the first episode ends. And I have to go, but I still want to talk a little bit about it. So I'm not sure where this is going to go. Well, I'm pretty sure that Izuku is going to go to the superhero school. He's going to be accepted, but I wonder how it's going to be handled because I'm not sure. I'm not sure like what I would want it to be. I was thinking about some storylines that I would have maybe expected to see. And so one of them was, for example, that he would become kind of like this Batman character, where he wouldn't have quirks, but he would use like science and tricks and stuff like that, gadgets to fight supervillains. So without quirks, right? Then I considered maybe it's going to be like he's not going to have powers at all, and he's going to be running around without powers, but still being a hero because again you don't need powers to be a hero. So that could be something. Okay, and but I think that is done in One Punch Man. I think one of the side characters is like that. Like he doesn't have superpowers, but he's still considered like one of the most. He's considered as one of the favorite heroes because of the fact that he doesn't have powers, but he still is heroic, right? I haven't seen One Punch Man, so I'm not sure if that is the case. It just from the stuff that I heard about it, I think there is a character like that. So either be like a tech character or have like a um, no powers at all. But I think what is more likely, and this is actually something that um, Some of the promo images, um, should I even call it promo images? I'm not sure. Like when I was googling My Hero Academia, obviously some images showed up, and it feels like it seems like he will get like a superpower. Maybe he will get it from All Might. Maybe like All Might body cannot handle being superhero anymore, so he will pass like his super soldier serum or whatever to Izuku. Maybe something like that happens. Who knows? Um, but it seems like he is gonna get some power, which I feel like it's not as interesting, and it feels like people, some people, not all people, but a lot of people that I have seen that comment on some anime, one or the other, they say how unique it is that that a character doesn't have the powers. And I started to think about it, and I was like, "Mm, no, it's more than that. That character doesn't have powers, and that it's basically like his hard work and his never give up attitude that is carrying him through the adventures." And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that's actually not that unique, and it feels like it's almost like a trope, right? So and I'm gonna start listing like some of the anime that I know, right? So we have Naruto. In Naruto, you have very obvious Rock Lee, who doesn't have any ninjutsu, but he is still considered a ninja because he trains hard and he has incredible taijutsu, right? In Demon Slayer, uh, Toshiro, in the beginning, he is not that special. Everyone who encounters him says he's not special, but he's never given up. He's working hard, and he eventually is the Kwisatz Haderach, right? Then you have in Bleach, you have Zaraki, who doesn't have any like special powers as a Shinigami, but he's just swinging his sword, and it's working out. You have Black Clover, Asta, the only person in the entire world that doesn't have magic and uses anti magic to fight. And the problem I have with those shows, well, it's not really a problem, but uh, how this concept, I guess, devolves very often is that eventually those characters, or in some cases, not even eventually, sometimes it's from the start. It doesn't matter that they don't have those powers because they end up being on the same level as the other characters, and sometimes even with if you look at Asta, for example, right? His anti magic, we know that it's anti magic, but if you look at it might as well be called magic, right? It's anti magic in lore. Visually, it's indistinguishable from magic. Same with Rock Lee. It's if you didn't say that it's not a ninjutsu, then it might as well be ninjutsu, right? So I wonder how it's going to go here. I think it's going to go a safe route, and he's going to get some powers. Maybe there is going to be some limit to the powers or something like that. But I'm sure eventually it's going to be as if he had superpowers from like regular superpowers. So that's kind of that. Um, so that's kind of like a breakdown of the first episode. I should really go to feed my cats, but I need to mention a couple other stuff that I feel like deserve to be mentioned. Um, so far in the first episode, I haven't really noticed anything like spectacular in the animation department. Nothing spectacular in the soundtrack, which is not to say that it's bad. Like I definitely I want to stick with this anime and continue watching it. It's shonen anime, so I'm sure it's gonna have some interesting fights. I'm gonna enjoy it. But so far there wasn't nothing like that would stick out, if that makes sense. Even with like superhero theme, it feels weird, right? Because when I think superheroes, I think Marvel and DC. Even like superheroes from Image Comics or some other publishing houses, uh, they look like bootleg superheroes that were introduced by DC or Marvel. So, like example, The Boys or what was that there was another like TV show with like superhero family. I don't remember. That doesn't matter. But basically, like outside of the big two, superheroes from other publishing houses, they feel like bootlegs, and I feel like it's the same case here. And it's not like it's a bad thing. It's I guess it's like personal feeling about the aesthetics and stuff like that. Uh, it's when I see superheroes, it feels strange, and I don't have this feeling with fantasy. For example, like if I see a wizard, I don't immediately think, "Oh, this is Gandalf." But with superheroes, it really feels like it's a derivative work, I guess, like a copy of the copy. And yeah, it's not a setting that I would have been too excited about regularly, I guess. But I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm sure maybe some more memorable music is going to be introduced later. Maybe the animation is going to pick up on some of the fights. Like if you think about it, nothing that groundbreaking really happened in this episode yet, right? It was um, it was mostly character stuff. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. It's just that based on just this first episode, it's not that impressive for now. And again, like a lot of a lot of anime starts weak. Like I've seen people uh, that recommend One Piece, right? And One Piece is something that I did not watch the anime. I attempted to read a manga, and I don't know how much manga I read for One Piece, but it wasn't much, right? And I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like the art style. I didn't like the story. But from what I have seen, other people comment on One Piece. They say, "Oh, you have to stick with it, and after episode 500, it's gonna get really good." And I was like, "What? After episode what? After how many episodes is going to be really shitty until it gets good?" So I know that some anime are like slow burners, and again, like there isn't really anything bad here. It's just that I was hoping to fall fall in love with the show from the first episode. I think this is something that uh, shows should be doing. Like if it's the first episode, they should start like strong, right? But I know that anime that doesn't always work that way. So I'm gonna wait. I'm hoping that it's going to pick up. I'm hoping that um, that it's not going to be bootleg superheroes. That it's going to have some interesting stuff. As I said, the world doesn't really make sense to me. Um, but and the main character so far, like I like his character, but I would have really preferred him to be um, either this Batman slash Iron Man, where he doesn't have powers and he fights using his knowledge or his stuff that he learned from superheroes, or no powers at all and just be a hero as a regular guy. I think that would have been interesting than giving him temporary power or like bootleg, not bootleg, but like lesser power that eventually is going to be on the same level as regular powers. So yeah, curious to see where it's going to go. And I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Um, yeah, I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. If I forgot something, we will talk about it in the next episode, which I'm not sure when it's going to be released. Um, I'm not sure about the formatting of this show because I really don't want to write scripts. It feels fake than reading the scripts, so I would like to stick with improvisation. I think I need better preparation with screenshots. Mm, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you have any suggestions for anime to watch, TV shows, movies, games to play, let me know. I have like plans for a lot of stuff, but I'm always curious about some new stuff that I'm not familiar with. So yeah, I'm not sure when the next episode is going to be released, but hopefully it's not going to take me too long because I want to um, start doing this more regularly, not just with this anime, but with like other animes as well, and like with some other TV shows maybe. I also will see how the story develops. For example, I am thinking about maybe doing Bleach in the future. And Bleach, I'm pretty sure there are cases where uh, there isn't really much to discuss for for a bunch of episodes. So there, I think maybe I would be trying to go like by arcs. So we will see. The first episode is usually more lore heavy in the shows, and then it kind of transforms into fighting shonens. So we will see how this show is going to be formatted. If there is going to be a lot of story in each episode, then I will do um, episode by episode breakdown. If it's going to transform into fighting shonen with fights taking several episodes, then I think I will switch to arcs or something like that. Um, I guess I forgot to mention that the first chapter of manga is actually not finished. The first chapter has something like 60 pages, and the first episode covers only 30. So maybe if they made a longer episode, or if I watched like two-parter as the beginning, maybe I would be more impressed. But so far it feels like it didn't really start. It didn't really catch me just yet. So maybe it's the case where the first chapter is not actually over. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling. So, and I need to feed my cats. So goodbye. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel. Uh, leave recommendations. Complain about my voice in the comments and stuff like that. Goodbye.